If you have trouble getting into a full resting squat position and you would like to restore your full squat, or if you have a stiff and aching low back that won't give way, and you have a protruding lower abdomen that seems unusual given your current level of body fat, consider adding this one extra mobilizing stretch with the ability to help resolve all of these issues into your warm-up sessions. Known as the squatted or squatting bar reach, this movement is designed to assist in the reversal of overly tight posterior chain muscles from the shoulders all the way down to the ankles. This is particularly useful if you have any issue with chronic anterior pelvic tilt and the associated lumbar tension and spilling gut. This warm-up won't burn excess fat off the lower abdomen by any means, but if you have anterior pelvic tilt, it will help bring the pelvic bowl back into a more neutral alignment and stop the lower abdomen from spilling out. This will also increase core stability by decreasing rib flare and improving the ability of the core to compress and protect the spine during intense exercise and heavy resistance training. To perform the squatted bar reach, you will need a dowel rod, PVC pipe, broom handle, or some other form of light bar. Put this into a squat rack or door frame and hold on to it with both hands as you stand on the other side of the frame with arms fully extended. Now you will slowly squat down as you begin to tuck the pelvis into a posterior tilted position. As you go down, the bar will follow you and act as a counterbalance along the way. The rounded back and posterior tilted pelvis, while not normally recommended for heavy squatting, is needed in this situation to stretch the posterior chain. The knees will also come forward in this movement and create a positive shin angle. This will increase dorsiflexion of the ankles and provide a good stretch in the soleus muscle. Only go down as far as you can without pain or discomfort, and once you get to this position, stop and isometrically hold it for 5 to 15 seconds while breathing deep and steady before coming back up to the starting position. Maintain the rounded back throughout, and when you inhale, you will notice the back will expand, providing further stretch to the ribs and muscles of the back. Some common faults seen in the form of this movement are vertical shins, which won't create any dorsiflexion, pushing the hips forward as opposed to genuinely posteriorly tilting the pelvis, and leaning forward, which feels as if it's helping you descend as the weight of the body pulls you forward and down. However, this will activate the posterior chain muscles, which you are trying to keep inactive and stretched. Instead, keep the center of gravity directly over the feet the entire time. If you want to get a better stretch in the pelvic outlet, you can put a ball between the knees and hold it there with light tension from the adductor muscles of the groin, which will help relax the pelvic outlet muscles through reciprocal inhibition. You can also perform the squatting bar reach holding onto a stationary object to use as a counterbalance as opposed to a free-floating bar, as long as you know ahead of time roughly how far down you are likely to be squatting. For many people, something waist height will often work well. If you're doing this to help restore a resting squat, simply aim to go a little further down every week until it's comfortable to rest in a full squat position. Once you can get into the full squat, I recommend doing some movement exploration and mobilizations in this position, such as hip internal rotations one leg at a time. If your main goal in using this is to address the lower abdominal bulge from the anterior pelvic tilt, you can speed up results by adding in supplementary exercises to help tighten the anterior core, while the squatted bar reach is opening up the posterior core. This would include an anterior core exercise of your choice, though if you're not sure what to add, I can recommend rollouts with an ab wheel as an easy to implement exercise with a track record of solid results. And if you don't have any of these issues, this can still be a simple and quick way to stretch the posterior chain before or after a workout for long-term biomechanical health. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep moving, my friends.